much drama in the NBA playoffs, and literally no one better on planet Earth to talk about it with than this man. The great Magic Johnson is in our studio. He was on KJZ earlier. He'll be on First Take later, and we are delighted to have you here. It is great to see you. Thank you, Magic.
And great to see you again, too. And tell your son congratulations, going to Northwestern, a Big Ten school.
And we play you the first
That's
week.
right.
We'll talk about that. But thank you. That's very nice of you to say. But let's get right to it last night. So much of the conversation this morning has focused on Ben Simmons, his lack of willingness in that one moment to take the shot. And again, in the last 4 games of this series, he did not attempt a single shot in the fourth quarter. What do you see in him right now?
He's just not aggressive, don't want to be aggressive on the offensive end when he needed to be aggressive to help the Sixers win. He needs a new start, a fresh start. So it's time to trade him, and it'll be good for the Sixers as well as good for Ben and his confidence. He needs to get with a veteran so that they can, probably bring that confidence back and make him understand that if you're aggressive, it makes the team better. And then you got to work on your shot. What Atlanta Hawks did, Coach McMillan did a wonderful job of saying, okay, Game 5 is where the Sixers lost this series. It's not last night. It was Game 5. They were up 20-something points. They should have won that game, didn't close them out. But Coach McMillan started to hacker Simmons, and he didn't shoot the free throws well, and that carried over to Game 6 and Game 7. And now with the fan base being a great fan base in Philadelphia, you already know, all the talk now centers around him. You see Embiid say what he said, and I think it's time for Rich Paul, who is his agent, got to now get him out of Philadelphia. It'll be good for both parties.
What Embiid said, for those of you who weren't with us earlier, was basically he thought the game turned in that one moment when Simmons passes up the shot. So many different places I can take this with you, because you are, among other things, a former executive. So you know about the wheeling and the dealing. He's got 4 years and $146 million left on his contract, and the whole league just saw what we just saw. Right. So what can they get for him? Are they getting a great player in return for him?
Well, they messed up and didn't get James Harden. That's, he was supposed to be the centerpiece, right? That's what the Rockets wanted, and they didn't make the move and didn't make the trade. But now they can still get a good player because he's a good defender, great defender, I shouldn't say that. But one thing about contracts, another team has a bad contract too, right? And so it's always teams willing to trade guys because maybe that guy is struggling in that other city and he needs a fresh start too. So I look for the Sixers to trade him. I look for another team to take him because he still has a high ceiling and a high upside. He just needs to get his confidence going and get it back. And he's got to get more offensive-minded, Greeny. That's where he's going to have to improve. And he can't say now, I'm not going to work on my game in the summertime. To me, he needs to play more basketball, even getting in a summer league or something. Play more basketball and just take shots from the outside, pickup games where that can bring him his confidence.
So here's the most important thing I want to ask you, as one of the genuinely greatest leaders in the history of American team sports. You say he needs a veteran. If you're that veteran, he comes to your team, and you want to help him instill that confidence. You want to make him more aggressive. What do you say to him?
Well, first, I'm taking him to the gym every day in the summertime with me, right? And we're shooting, playing one-on-one, we're working out. We're probably shooting 1,000 shots a day, both from the outside as well as free throws. And every day I'm talking to him, getting him going. And so then when the games come, every time he don't take a shot, I'm in his face saying, you are open for that jump shot. You got to take the shot, because that's what brings your confidence. The fact that you're doing it over and over again, and finally you hitting one of them, right? That drive to the basket, he drove to the basket about 5 times last night. He had the dunk or the layup, and he kicked it out for a 3-point shot. You can't do that, not when they need you to score in Game 7. And so I hope that it works out well, because I like Ben Simmons as a man and as a person. And so I hope it works out for him.
All right, we'll see. So the Sixers go out last night. Atlanta, Milwaukee are now the 2 alive in the East. Another team that went out over the weekend was the Brooklyn Nets. And I want to ask you, because it's always fascinating for me to hear the Immortals talk about this kind of thing. When you watch the performance of Kevin Durant in Game 5 and then again in Game 7, what did you see through your eyes, who are one of the few people alive who can know what it is to play at that level? What did Kevin Durant show you?
That showed me a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan type performance. It reminded me of Michael Jordan against the Celtics when he got 60 and they lost. Mm-hmm. That same type of performance, and everybody said, uh-oh. It's getting ready to be Michael Jordan's league, right? And so I think that Kevin Durant put himself in that type of atmosphere with those type of players, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and we're going to be blessed because we get to see more of this. Mm-hmm. Who else has come back from Achilles and performed like Kevin Durant? I think LeBron got one more year to be the man, and it's Kevin Durant's league right after that.
Okay, let's focus in on that because that was the next question. You're not willing to say right now Kevin Durant is the best player in the world?
I think Kevin Durant is the best scorer on this planet, in the world. I think that, yes, now they're running neck and neck. LeBron knows he's got to come back and have a great year, and his Lakers got to have a great year. But let's see what happens next season. LeBron, he can just do everything. And so he's not going to give up this crown too easy of being the best player in the world.
You know, I'm remembering a day, and this is a very long time ago, you were working here and you were doing a telecast for us, and you had LeBron James on. LeBron James came on in an interview, and you said to him, congratulations, LeBron, you are the best player in the world. And I remember coming on my old show, Mike and Mike, the next day and making a very big deal of that. If Magic Johnson says to you, you're the best player in the world, that's a big deal. How important is that? He's been the best player in the world a long time. How important do you think that is to him, and what do you think he's thinking as he's watching Kevin Durant this week?
Greeny is very important to him. You know, we got egos. That's what makes us who we are. And so, you know, he pulling for Kevin Durant because that's his friend. But he still wants to be the man. He wants to be number one in the world. But he knows right now. It reminds me of myself and Larry Bird when we saw this guy named Michael Jordan. we kept looking like this, saying, uh-oh, here he comes. And we both had to pass the torch to him. Right now, LeBron James almost is passing the torch to Kevin Durant.
I want to talk about LeBron a little more in a couple of minutes, but let's focus in now on Durant's team. Clearly, the overwhelming factor in that series, the injury to Harden and then the injury to Kyrie. If those three guys are healthy, do they win the championship this year?
I think they win it, but we don't know that for a fact, right? But I feel that they are so dynamic, and there's nobody in basketball like all three of them. Probably the best entertainer in all of basketball is Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. The most dominant scorer is Kevin Durant. And then we saw the best James Harden we've ever seen. The way he played this season was unbelievable. And now they all have to come together. But Greeny, I would say this. I think they got to get a better supporting cast for them to win the championship. And I think Joe Harris, they should use him as a trade piece to bring in somebody. They need guys who can play both ends of the court and guys who can actually give them extra possessions. So they're going to have to get the role players to be a little bit better if they're going to win the championship, because everybody's going to build over the summer to beat them, right? And let's say Milwaukee wins it all. That's going to give them the confidence to go up against Brooklyn next season as well. They already beat them this season, but it'll give them the confidence to beat them next season. So I think they got to improve.
All right, we'll see where it goes. Magic Johnson's going to stay with us. We're coming right back in just a moment with much more on this. We talked about LeBron.